Shabbat Shalom. And in fact, those are the words you need to know as we start to sing. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shabbat Shalom, we now add the word umevorach, Shabbat of peace and blessing. Shabbat Shalom, umevorach, Shabbat Shalom, umevorach. It's been a long time since we've filled Temple Beth David with our presence like this. I wonder if we remember as Temple Beth David how to fill this sanctuary with our song. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Umevorach. Shabbat Shalom. Just your voices.
Page 10.
Matov u'manayim, Shabbat gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim, Shabbat gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim, Shabbat
Shabbat Shalom. It is good. Shabbat Shalom. I know. It is so good to be together this evening. I hope some of you enjoyed some Shabbat dinner, thanks to Bertucci's. And if you just came in, welcome. We're so glad to see you, whether you're here for a little Shabbat uplift, for maybe slowing down after a busy week and finding some peacefulness. whether you're here to celebrate. We are celebrating Jacob's Sersha, who will be called to the Torah tomorrow morning as a bar mitzvah. And welcome to your whole family. So we come together for all these reasons to bring in Shabbat together. And in honor of our Torah portion this Shabbat, which is Parashat Kedoshim, Take 2, which means holiness, we're going to be weaving in some themes of Kedusha, of holiness into our service. So if you're not sure what that means, don't worry about it, because we'll kind of look at that together. We're going to move into Shabbat, which of course is the first thing in the Torah that is called holy time. And you can turn to page 24 as we welcome in our Shabbat angels or messengers of peace. Jewish tradition says that when we come together to celebrate Shabbat, we are escorted or accompanied by angels of peace. So we sing together, Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachi HaSharet, Malachi Shalom, Malachi HaShalom, Malachi Elyon. Melech, Malachi HaMelachim, HaKadosh, Baruch Hu Shalom, Malachi HaShalom, Malachi
as we bring in the light of Shabbat. It is an honor to call forward members of Jacob's family, his cousins Heather and Perry Donner, and his mom Sharon and sister Ella. So you can, as you're making your way up, wonderful to see one of our Shalom Corner students here. So we're going to do a little meditation that we do with our preschool kids that some of you may know as well, to bring in our light.
Bring in the light, bring in the light, bring in the light of Shabbat. We light the lights of Shabbat. Bring in the light, bring in the light, bring in the light of Shabbat. Lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be amongst those who kindle light.
Amen. Thank you all.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik
likner, lecha likner, shel Shabbat Shalom. And we'll continue to welcome in the Shabbat bride with Lecha Dodi on page 20. We'll join in verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. And on that last verse, we'll invite you to rise in body or in spirit as we face our doors to bring in Shabbat.
Just go with me. Lecha dodi likrat yallai ne Shabbat ne kabela. Lecha dodi likrat yallai ne Shabbat ne kabela. Shamor v'zachor v'dibor echad ki shmi'anu el ha'meyuchad. Adonai echad u'shmo echad l'shem u'tiferet ve'litila. Lecha dodi likrat yallai ne Shabbat ne kabela. Lecha dodi likrat yallai ne Shabbat ne kabela. Likrat Shabbat v'chuvenecha ki lekol ha'beracha merosh mikeden nesucha sof ma'aseh v'machshavat tila. Lecha dodi likrat yallai ne Shabbat dodi likrat yallai ne Shabbat ne kabela. Likrat Shabbat v'chuvenecha ki lekol ha'beracha merosh mikeden nesucha sof ma'aseh v'machshavat tila. Lecha dodi likrat ne Shabbat ne continue with the prayer for the onset of evening on the top of page 31 together. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars, creator of the tide of time and light. You guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, Amari Varavi.
Continue on page 32 with our prayer that speaks of Ahavat Olam, everlasting love, God's love for us, the people of Israel, and all humanity.
Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta, Amcha ahavta. Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta, otanu limadeta. Aken Adonai Eloheinu b'shochbeinu uv'kumenu nasiach bechukecha v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha u'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu u'vahem negei yomam v'layla negei yomam v'layla ve'ahavatecha tasir mimenu le'olamim Baruch atah Adonai Ohev Amo Yisrael Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Page 34.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
Please be seated. We invite Jacob forward to lead us in Ve'ahavta. And, Jacob, there's such an amazing showing from our 6th grade class tonight. You're going to have lots of support out there. So let's chant along with Jacob, page 36.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levacha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol medecha ve'hayu advarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al bavecha v'shimnatam levanecha v'dibarta ba'am v'shivtecha b'beitecha uvlechtecha b'derech uv'shuchbecha uv'kumecha uv'kshartam me'od al yadecha v'hayu letodafot b'einecha uv'tavtam beitecha uvisharecha leman tiskeru vasitem metzol mitzvotai vitem kedoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem Asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem Elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem.
We turn now to page 40, and as we prepare for Micha Mocha, this prayer is another reminder of Kedusha, of holiness, that holiness is about lifting ourselves up, raising ourselves up. During the prayer in the morning, we say, Kadosh, 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 holy, 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 as we lift ourselves up. So a brief story to remind us to raise ourselves up and open our eyes a little wider. So we know that when the Israelites escaped from Egypt, we came forth in great numbers and community. But there's a midrash that says that two of the people who left Egypt, their names were Shimon and Reuven. Well, they experienced the miracle a little bit differently. They saw the water stop flowing. They saw the dry land before them. And as they watched, huge flows of water froze into solid walls. And this was the miracle. But the whole time, these two people, Shimon and Reuven, were just looking at their feet. Shimon complained, for years I had to work with mud. I had to go into the mud and get my feet dirty. I took the mud and I made it into bricks. This is some freedom, but I am still in the mud. And Reuben agreed, we have to walk too far. If God wanted to really do a miracle, we could have been lifted back to Canaan. But instead, we have to walk. And my feet hurt, and walking through mud is really hard. And everyone else walked along with their mouths open, their eyes open, totally amazed at how God had stopped nature and made this miracle. But for Shimon and Reuven, there was no miracle. There was just mud. So sometimes holiness is just something as simple as opening our eyes, raising our heads up, looking around, and taking that time to notice the miracle.
Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Micha mocha bai limadonai. Micha mocha ne'etar b'kodesh. Norati hiloto sefele. Norati hiloto sefele. Malachutecha ra'u vanecha. Okeyayam v'moshe u'Miriam. Se'elianu ve'ameru. Se'elianu ve'ameru. Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed. Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la la la. Ya la la la.
V'namar kifad Adonai et Yaakov, ugalo miyad chazak mimanu, Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. And we continue with our prayer for the evening, Hashkivenu, page 42. For those who maybe are used to coming Sunday mornings, this is our parallel to Moda Ani. We say thank you when we wake up, and we say a prayer to God when it is time for bed. We ask that we may lie down in peace and rise up to new days. So we'll join in Hashkivenu in Hebrew and a little bit of English as well.
We also have a good number of our double high students here tonight who sing this at the end of every Wednesday evening of learning. So it'd be great to hear you back there. How about the congregation, y'all? Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Shalom, Shalom, V'hamidenu Shomrinu
Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people, Israel, over all people, and Jerusalem. We continue to celebrate Shabbat, of course, our weekly gift of time, page 44.
Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, la'asot et HaShabbat לדורות עולם. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, la'asot et HaShabbat לדורות עולם. Israel, Oti leolam, Oti leolam, Oti leolam. Veshamru b'nei Israel et HaShabbat, la'asot et HaShabbat לדורות עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורות עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, Shabbat vayinafsh, Shabbat vayinafsh. Veshamru b'nei Israel et HaShabbat, la'asot et HaShabbat לדורות עולם.
You to rise in body or in spirit for our tefillah, our central prayer, which will begin in Hebrew and then take some moments to add the prayers from our hearts as well. Page 46.
Adonai sifatai tifta ufia gitehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, Umevi Geulah livnei bneihem, Leman shemo be'ahava, Melech chozer u'moshia u'magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah, Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye hakol atarav lehoshia, morid hatal, Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim verofech cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato lishenei afar, michamocha ba'al gevurot, umidom elach, melech memit umechayeh, umatziach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah lechayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, mechayei hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kdoshim b'chol yom yalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. I invite you to join with me in English on the top of page 53. Days pass and the years vanish, and we walk sightless among miracles. God, fill our eyes with seeing and our minds with knowing. Let there be moments when your presence, like lightning, illumines the darkness in which we walk. Help us to see wherever we gaze that the bush burns unconsumed, and we, clay touched by God, will reach out for holiness and exclaim in wonder, how filled with awe is this place, and we did not know it. Blessed is the Eternal One, the Holy God. We invite you to add your own prayers, and please feel free to be seated when you're ready.
We come back together on page 60 as we add our prayer for Shalom Rav, for abundant peace to all people in need of peace.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov beinecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim
We add our prayer for healing, Misha Berach. At this time, you can find the words on page 253. We take this moment to pray for any loved ones who are ill at this time. We also pray for those who care for them. And we are aware of several members of our temple community at home with COVID right now. So we extend our prayers to all in need of healing of body and spirit. We are especially praying for Colin Monroe, Mary Lou Houle, Janet Watson, Paul Robillard, Elizabeth Hill, Enrico Mascaro, Deborah Booker, Robert Bloom, Annalie Stone, Benjamin Horowitz, Bradley Dichter, Mateo Goldman, Toby Weiner, Asya Rushavskaya, Amy Fasberg-Kurse, Eileen Arnone, Marilyn Breyer, Jean Sands, Roseanne Cohen, Tom Fiorino, Barry Levine, Caroline Weil, and Stephen Driscoll. If there are other names that you would like to share, you may do so. Mishaberach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. One of my favorite Jewish stories comes from the Talmud, actually tractate Shabbat, although the story on the surface has nothing to do with Shabbat. As the story goes, thousands of years ago, a person who was not Jewish asked a famous rabbi, Rabbi Shammai, to explain the whole Torah to him while standing on one foot. Shammai had no patience for what he thought was a ridiculous question. The person, who was genuinely interested in joining the Jewish people, went on to another rabbi. As some of the kids here may know, if you don't like what one adult says, try someone else. So this man posed the same challenge to the learned Rabbi Hillel. Rabbi Hillel, he said, please explain the whole Torah to me while standing on one foot. And Hillel responded, and if anyone wants to give it a try, you can see if you can do this. Hillel responded, what is hateful to you, do not do unto others. That is the entire Torah. Go study it. If you can see, 1 foot. What is hateful to you, do not do unto others. I imagine you have heard Rabbi Hillel's teaching before, perhaps worded slightly differently. Rabbi Hillel, of course, was commenting on the exact middle of the Torah, Leviticus chapter 19, verse 18, love your neighbor as yourself. Ve'ahavta l'reacha kamocha. Now we're going to hear more about this mitzvah tomorrow morning from Jacob. But I just wanted to highlight that Parashat Kedoshim places before us one of the most difficult commandments in the whole Torah. It's not keeping kosher, it's not observing Shabbat, it's not performing sacrifices. Rather, this central mitzvah is the expectation to be holy. In much of the Torah, it is God who makes things holy, and God who sanctifies life. But now, this week, we are presented with a new twist on this idea. In Kedoshim, it is not God who's making things holy. The commandment to make things holy is put upon us, upon humankind. The task of sanctifying our lives is put into our hands. After what I imagine might be an exhausting week for all of you as well, which included the devastating news of the U.S. Supreme Court likely overturning Roe v. Wade, I urge us to take this moment, this Shabbat, to hold up Kedoshim as a mirror to our highest ideals, to see the divine image in all humanity, men and women, and the inherent holiness in our minds, our bodies, and our choices. What is hateful to you, do not do unto others, is the opposite of imposing your views upon someone else. Love your neighbor as yourself is affirming differences in opinion and individual choices. I feel sadness and anger this week and plan to share more thoughts and especially Jewish values in the weeks ahead that can hopefully help us contextualize this issue as Reformed Jews. For now, we can acknowledge that when hate surrounds us, the task to sanctify our lives and to focus on love is in our hands. So I want to leave you with this poem by Rabbi Rami Shapiro called An Unending Love, in the spirit of Ve'ahavta l'reacha kamocha, love your neighbor as yourself. We are loved by an unending love. We are embraced by arms that find us even when we are hidden from ourselves. We are touched by fingers that soothe us even when we are too proud for soothing. We are counseled by voices that guide us even when we are too embittered to hear. We are loved by an unending love. We are supported by hands that uplift us even in the midst of a fall. We are urged on by eyes that meet us even when we are too weak for meeting. We are loved by an unending love, embraced, touched, soothed, and counseled. Ours are the arms, the fingers, the voices. Ours are the hands, the eyes, the smiles. We are loved by an unending love. Shabbat Shalom. Yeah, I would flip it.
In addition to Shabbat, we are in the period of the Omer, our counting of 50 days from Pesach to Shavuot. So we are going to go ahead and make our blessing and our counting. Rabbi Karen is going to come to our really one-of-a-kind Omer counter which was handmade by a former member of the congregation with the stones. So I think we need to just catch up a little bit. You can find the blessing for the counting of the Omer on page 278. Okay. We can make the blessing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat ha'omer hayom 21 yom shehem shlosha shavuot la'omer. Today is the 21st day, which is 3 weeks of the Omer.
So the first 3 rows are now all turned 3 weeks.
Which means, if my math is right, there's 4 more weeks to Shavuot. Did I get that right? Mm-hmm. It's good. See, guys, I am good at math. My kids don't think I'm very good. In addition to counting the Omer, we have members of the congregation this month of May, who are doing their own counting, the counting of the times they've traveled around the sun. So we want to invite anyone who celebrates a May birthday up to the Bima so that we can offer you a May blessing. What? Yeah. When's your birthday? When is it?
The 24th.
All right. When's your birthday? May 9th is coming up. Oh my goodness. Hi, when's your birthday? Mazel tov. Come on up. Come on, May birthdays. Oh, here she comes. Go. You're with, like, your mom? Go stand with your mom. That's nice.
Dan's sister, Linda.
Yes. Oh, okay. I won't give that away, but okay. Yeah. Okay. Who? David. Okay. David's gonna. All right. Good. Everyone is here. And I'm going to put half a foot because it's my half birthday this month. No, it's not. We just counted the Omer, and of course, it's not just the period between Passover and Shavuot, but we mark our lives by the counting of our birthdays. And the psalmist says, teach us to count our days that we might acquire a heart of wisdom. Our blessing for you this May as you celebrate your birthdays is that you count each day as a blessing and that you offer your blessing each day. And as you arrive at this milestone in your counting, that you go from strength to strength, that you live to be 120 years old, just like you're 20. We have some milestone birthdays. We're not going to give them all away, but some special. You shouldn't. You're 120 and you're right, Cynthia. Thank you.
And we do offer just a special birthday blessing to Cynthia and Harvey Atkins. I'll leave it to you if you want to share the second digit, but I am just going to share for both of you that the first digit is 9. So you are well up to the 120, not yet, but 93 and 96. So you know what, Cynthia and Harvey, you were at our outdoor dinner earlier. We were going to come down to you, but no surprise at all that you are up here on our bima celebrating. And just both of you are pillars of our community, and we wish you only health and another full year and more ahead. Health and strength and joy. So for everyone,
let's give thanks for this moment and being right here. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Mazel tov.
Mazel tov. And I don't think we've had such a big birthday blessing here in person in a few years. So mazel tov to all
the
of you.
generations.
All right, well, happy birthday. We are going to move into our concluding prayers for this Shabbat. So, Jacob, you're back on deck for blessings, not yet. And we'll invite you to please rise, page 282. Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon ha'kol, la'tegedula l'yotzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoye ha'aratzot, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו echad. We remain standing and turn now to page 291. There are stars up above so far away we only see their light long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways we remember. We are especially remembering these loved ones in our community whose yahrzeit, whose anniversary of death occur this week. Gloria Aronson, Arthur Berger, Florence Sherman, Shirley Colgiovanni, Carmen DeRora, John Fink, Edward Fryman, Francis Garfinkel, Harriet Gilman, Dan Glasgow, Murray Hoffman, Arthur Rock, Tilly Rodman, Judy Sokolov, Harris Tarlin, Harold Tubman, S. Robert Watsky, and Robert Bobby Weller. If there are other names that you are remembering, you may share them with our community. We join on page 294 from Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'amad yivrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, v'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam ulamei amaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudsha b'richu, le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, da'amiran ve'alma v'imru amen, Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be for us a blessing. Amen. We are going to invite Jacob forward to our bima once more to lead us in the blessings of Kiddush and Motzi. And I just have to say, it's very tempting when we're praying to have our wall open and we see all the sweets and delicious food. I'm commending all of you. I didn't see anyone sneaking any cookies, so good job. There will be wine, grape juice for everyone after our service if you are comfortable and would like to join us in the social hall. You can find Kiddush on page 5.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitanu mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon chinhilanu, zikaron l'maaseh v'reishit, ki hu yom techila Lemikra Kodesh, Zecher Litiat Mitzrayim, Kivanu Vachata, Beltanu Kidashta, Mikol Hamim, Veshamat Kodesh.
And there we go. As we can see, Jacob, you are ready to become bar mitzvah tomorrow morning. This is very exciting. We are going to bring back a little custom here at Beth David that we have not had in a few years, which is that if you have not yet become bar and bat mitzvah, you can come up and join us on the bima for Motzi. You're going to be kind of the backup support. I know, we've got a few of you tonight. 6th grade, you've only got one more year. So.
There we go. Excellent.
All right, you guys can come on up.
Nice. Hey,
You'll get the first challah.
You got to make up for all of them in this last couple of years. Here comes the big one.
All right.
All right.
We know it got a little late for a few others who hit bedtime, but.
Yes. Not yet.
Jacob, go ahead.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Shabbat Shalom. All right, Mazel Tov to all of you. Are we giving out challahs?
I don't know
All right.
anything.
We're just going to make the COVID call that we're going to split on food. So you guys can be the first in the social hall to get some challah. And by the way, any of our younger students, we also have some Shabbat stickers for you, so I'll be around. So you guys can join your parents for our concluding song. Jacob, you can join your family as well. And we are going to conclude with words of peace, Onset Shalom, and then you are welcome to continue celebrating. I forgot to mention, 9 a.m. our Layla Minyan meets here at Temple, and 10:30 our service will be in at the sanctuary. Read your weekly shofar email for all other programs and holidays, and of course Shabbat services coming up soon.
No Shorashim on Sunday. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. Ose Shalom bin Roma, Uyase Shalom.